Hey, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? My name's Justin, and tonight we're going to do a loving kindness meditation practice, which is known as Metta in Pali or Maitri in Sanskrit. Who's done a loving kindness practice before, either here or somewhere else? Okay, great. So most of you. And it might be different than what I'm going to do tonight. It might be similar. I was introduced to this practice a few years ago, and it was really transformative for me, both in my relationship with myself and how I think of myself and my connection to others. And, I think of it the way I learned it as slightly different than the Vipassana or mindfulness practice that we're used to, where the object or the focus is only on our breath, and we work to not add anything. Right? We work with whatever comes up, but we don't add anything to it. And I do think of Maitri meditation as cultivating, maybe not adding, but at least helping us to get in touch with a very specific part of ourselves, which is that soft spot, that warmth inside of us. I like to think of it as bodhicitta, or the noble or awakened heart, essentially our Buddha nature, and the recognition that we all have that inside of us. And as we do so, we're just trying to cultivate an inherent openness, a warmth, whatever words you want to use to describe that connection, warmth, and regard for other living beings. I'm going to start with a short passage from Pema Chodron's Start Where You Are. And this is the chapter on loving kindness and compassion, which at first read doesn't sound like it's about that necessarily, but it is. I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit in this short chapter. She writes, all Dharma agrees at one point. All the teachings and all the practices are just about one thing. If the way that we protect ourselves is strong, then suffering is really strong too. If the ego or cocoon starts getting lighter, then suffering is lighter as well. One might think that we're talking about ego as an enemy, about ego as original sin, but this is a very different approach, a much softer approach. Rather than original sin, there's original soft spot. The messy stuff we see in ourselves, that we perceive in the world as violence and cruelty and fear, is not the result of some basic badness, but of the fact that we all have such a tender, vulnerable, warm heart, the bodhicitta, that we instinctively protect so that nothing will touch it. This is a life-affirming view. It starts from the point of basic goodness or basic good heart. The problem is that we continually grab the wrong end of the stick. All practice agrees that there's some fundamental pattern that we have in which we're always trying to avoid the unpleasantness and grasp the pleasantness. There seems to be a need to change the fundamental pattern of always protecting against anything touching our soft spot. Tonglen, or in this case, Maitri practice, is about changing that basic pattern. All of the teachings, and particularly the Lojong teachings, are encouraging us, if we find ourselves struggling, to let that be a moment where we pause and wonder and begin to breathe in, trying to feel what's underneath the struggle. If we find ourselves complaining, it isn't that we have to say, oh, I'm bad because I'm struggling. It's not that it's a sin to complain. We're simply saying that the way to change the pattern is to begin to breathe in and connect with the heart, the soft spot that's under all that protecting. When you begin to touch your heart, or let your heart be touched, you begin to discover that it's bottomless, that it doesn't have any resolution, that this heart is huge, vast, and limitless. You begin to discover how much warmth and gentleness there is, as well as how much space. Your world seems less solid, more roomy, and spacious. The burden lightens. In the beginning, it might feel like sadness or a shaky feeling accompanied by a lot of fear. But your willingness to feel the fear, to make your fear your companion, is growing. You're willing to get to know yourself at a deep level. And the reason I love that is because it reminds me that this is a practice. If I sit with the intention of offering loving kindness to myself and others, and I'm struggling with it, that's a good thing, right? It is there to be noticed and to not judge, but to allow slowly and simply to peel back the layers of the onion and get to that heart that we all have inside of us. So we'll begin the practice soon, and I'll be reading some words that can be used as a mantra or a reminder to bring us back to that heart. But it's not the words that are necessarily important. It's whatever connects you back to that feeling. And I find it helpful to, even before meditation, sit and just try to conjure an image of a person or an individual, could be an animal, anything that gives me that sense of deep love or even warmth. And just notice what happens in my body. It might be a smile across my face, a sense of warmth in my belly. And I try to grab onto what is the texture of it, that feeling. How does it smell and taste? And what color is it? Anything that makes it real for me. Because that's what we'll be connecting back to throughout this practice. So if you haven't done a formal Maitreya practice before, we're going to start kind of closer in and think about loving kindness and offering it towards ourselves. And then we're going to go further out until we are offering loving kindness to all living beings. And there are some challenges along that route. And the reason that the practice originally had us start with ourselves is because that's assumed to be the most accessible place to offer loving kindness. But that's not always true. I've heard this story about the Dalai Lama teaching a group of Western teachers in the US, and someone in the group, it might have been Jack Kornfield or someone else of that stature, asked a question about how to overcome the obstacle of self-aversion or self-hate in students. And this is years ago in the 90s, and the Dalai Lama just didn't understand. It was through a translator, and self-hate did not translate. There was no word for it. And when the translator tried to explain what that actually meant, he said, "Oh, that's a really big problem." And it was something that he hadn't heard before. And he asked the other Western teachers, "Is this something that comes up with you in your teaching?" And everyone said, "Yes, 100%. So culturally, we do have this little obstacle, a lot of us do, when it comes to experiencing that feeling of loving kindness for ourselves. So whether it's easy or whether it's difficult, this is the practice, right? Connecting to that soft spot that we just touched, that warmth, that smell, that taste, and trying to be there as we're present with our breath, and just allow it to happen. And if there's a struggle, to just notice that. So with that, we're going to do several sits today. Forgot to ring the bell to start with. Oops. Just invite you to get comfortable in your seat. Close your eyes if you're comfortable, or leave them slightly open. If you're sitting in a chair, just try to keep your back relatively straight. And keep your hands folded in your lap or on your legs, whatever you prefer. And we'll start by taking 3 deep breaths in and out at your own pace. Follow your breath as it comes in and then out of your body without trying to change it. Simply be aware of it and any feelings associated with it. Give full attention to each in-breath and then to each out-breath. And as you're continuing to focus on the breath, try to connect back with that warmth or that smile or that texture, whatever came to you before when we were tapping into our own loving kindness. Feel it in your body. And with With that present, continuing to focus on the breath, turn your attention inward towards yourself. And let these words become your words. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live in peace no matter what I am given. May my heart be filled with love and kindness. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live in peace no matter what I am given. May my heart be filled with love and kindness. Returning to the breath. We'll sit for a few moments. As your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to the breath. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live in peace no matter what I am given. May my heart be filled with love and kindness. Gently opening your eyes. Coming back to you. How was that experience? Anyone want to share whether it was easy or difficult or what came up?
Peaceful.
Peaceful. What was that?
It felt really warm.
Really warm. Was it helpful to have that initial connection? It's helpful to me, I don't know. It's tough. I find it tough sometimes to offer that loving kindness to myself. Because, I personally grew up thinking that that's indulgent. But what I have to remind myself is I'm not just making up stories about who I am, and I'm not repeating affirmations in the hope that they become true. It's about having regard for all parts of myself, especially the parts that I dislike or want to reject. Because the extent that I can learn to have that loving, that unconditional kindness for myself, that's the extent I can offer it to other people who have those same qualities. So we're going to continue to go further from the self to someone that you feel quite a lot of love for. Deep love, warmth. It might be the same person that you thought of earlier. Could be a pet. It could be a fictional character. It's not important who it is. It's important that we allow ourselves to find that space where we can really offer that person genuine, loving kindness, whatever that means in our own experience. So we're going to sit for another 5 minutes. Close your eyes or leave them gently open. Once again, becoming aware of the breath. Now, you can make these words your own, directed towards that person. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live in peace, no matter what you are given. May your heart be filled with love and kindness. As your thoughts wander, gently coming back to the breath, to that sensation, or to the words. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live in peace, no matter what you are given. May your heart be filled with love and kindness. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Does anyone want to share about that experience? Whether it was easier,
Very harmonious.
What does that feel like?
Connected with everybody.
Good. You're a few steps ahead already. And that's really what we are practicing here, is that whether it's for ourselves, for someone we love, or other people, that it is all the same, we are connected. So now we're going to get a little further out, and we're going to do this practice for a neutral person. What that means is it's someone you don't have any particularly invested feelings for, good or bad, or you might not know them at all. It could be the person that checked you out at the grocery store, someone you see on your walk to work or in your neighborhood. It's usually someone we don't give that much thought to as a person and what their experience is like. So with that, sit for another 5 minutes, try to bring that person to mind and offer them that same loving kindness. So again, extending those same words. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live in peace no matter what you are given. May your hearts be filled with love and kindness. Coming back to the room. Should have said hi earlier to whoever's watching on YouTube. The last time Mike said it feels wonderful to be able to offer this loving kindness and hope that it helps them a little in their life path. That was with regard to the last time we meditated for a loved one. Does anyone want to share on the experience of practicing loving kindness towards a neutral person.
I haven't done that in a while, and it was so nice to do again. I forgot how nice it is to just offer that someone that you see throughout the day.
So just for the folks on YouTube, you said it was really nice to offer that. You haven't done it in a while, just to people that you see throughout the day. Did you have a particular person in mind?
There's a woman that lives across the street from me that sometimes will wave, and she is sweet. So I'm not totally neutral,
Right.
but it was just so nice to do. You could do that to everyone, and it doesn't take too much time. It's beautiful.
Our lives are full of those people, right?
Yeah.
And it's easy to block out those people that we don't know. I mean, outside of this room, we are all neutral people for the most part to each other, right? But then here we feel we've all come together for a purpose, and anyone has the potential to be part of that. Pema Chodron, who I love, American Buddhist nun who focuses a lot on loving kindness, has a practice called Just Like Me. She talks about doing it in traffic jams when you are stuck and you're really agitated, kind of wanting the traffic to move, just looking around at the people in the cars to your left and your right, and not necessarily inventing stories for them, but remembering that these people have full lives just like us, right? Just like me, they want to be happy. Just like me, they want to be safe. Just like me, they want the best for their family. I started doing that at Costco, where it's really needed, as people are in my way, and it's helpful. The people that I used to want to push through with my cart, I'm like, oh, it's a cute baby, talking to his father is just a different way of seeing the world, and it's all in my head either way, right? Anyone else have something they want to share from that? Or something that came up?
It's just it's good to be in the space. I've been practicing the Dharma Bum Temple and currently navigating sober living situations. But I do practice Metta on a daily basis, first thing in the morning.
So it's a morning practice for you.
It kind of reinforces my being able to cope with the day.
Yeah.
Like today, the house is complete chaos.
So the house is complete chaos.
Just being here, I'm getting the sensation of the energy almost enveloping an upward motion.
What we're, in my mind, essentially doing is acclimating our nervous systems to feelings that we're not normally used to in the heat of the day, right? Our go-to might be aggression or aversion or craving. And it does something when we're able to sit here and cultivate that feeling.
Well, it's the space.
And do reps, right?
Yeah, it's the space too. When I practice meditation out of the house, it's communal living. So to get into, truly get deep into a meditational state is difficult.
It's difficult to do it there, and it feels.
Make sure I get the 3:30 point.
3:30 in the morning is difficult to be loving and kind.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm just grateful for Dharma Bums.
So now we're going to get into hairier territory, offering loving kindness to a difficult person. And it's not that that person is difficult, it's that our relationship with that person is difficult. And having done this a number of times, my suggestion is you don't necessarily have to go to, in Buddhist literature is called the enemy. It doesn't have to be your life adversary, right? Somebody that gives you that sense of almost pre-emotional someone that you wouldn't want to run into on the street, maybe, right? Someone who would not naturally want to or naturally feel inclined to offer loving kindness to. And the practice is to connect back with the feeling that we've been cultivating, getting in touch with the soft spot, and seeing what comes up when we try to extend it to that person. So with that, we'll sit for another 5 or so minutes. as you settle into your breathing, the same words, keeping that difficult relationship in mind. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live in peace, no matter what you are given. May your heart be filled with love and kindness. Does anyone want to share what came up for them?
Harder.
Harder? How so?
Just harder. It wasn't, as you said, somebody way out there, but somebody known for a long while who about a year ago, almost a year ago, just sort of cut off communication.
Yeah.
And I was trying to, I'm doing my best to boost my ability to concentrate. Doing the metta practice, it was difficult because it was just hard to keep waking them up.
Did you find yourself getting more easily distracted?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of avoiding the sitting with the discomfort. Did you notice anything new about what you felt when you were offering that?
Not really. I mean, I kind of know the whole circumstances of just trying to set out what I could.
Yeah. It's hard with the circumstances that seem like they're, so clear cut. How could this person be offered loving kindness? But for me, it's recognizing just how much of that discomfort there is in there and trying to sit with letting the thoughts go and sitting with that sensation and just recognizing it for what it is and being okay with that and seeing if over time that shifts. I've got the same two people in mind. I've had them in mind for years, and it's different on different days, but they almost feel like friends now because I have done this practice enough times that while we'll never talk again, most likely, I've begun to see them as people with their own sides of the story. And this is not a comment on yours at all. This is my own experience. And I think of the things that I've probably been judged for in the past and how many people might have those feelings towards me. And I don't know that it'll ever be easy, but I know that I do feel a lot more settled with it over time. And that's also meant that I need to practice offering loving kindness to myself for my part in it and for my own resistance. Anyone else have a similar or different experience?
Yeah, I find it hard to extend loving kindness and unconditional friendliness. I find it a lot easier to offer forgiveness. That seems to open a little bit more.
So offering forgiveness before loving kindness.
I couldn't do that before for a long time. But I at least can tap into that a lot easier and it opens a little bit more.
What does that forgiveness mean differently than loving kindness?
It helps me drop the story a lot easier.
Dropping the story.
Yeah. So that I can see the loving kindness that's also in them. It's hard. It's difficult.
So you're seeing that loving kindness in them a little bit more easily.
Glimpses.
Yeah.
It's still hard.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that with me. All right, well, we're going to sit one more time, and this time is for all sentient beings. Those we know, those we don't know, those who we love already, are neutral, whom we have difficult relationships, and whatever that means to you, whether it's cycling through different people or just an overall offering of loving kindness to all sentient beings at once. That's what we're trying to tap into here. So And now as we offer loving kindness, we'll say, may we be safe, may we be happy, may we be healthy, may we live in peace no matter what we are given, may our hearts be filled with love and kindness. Let's open our eyes. Any additional thoughts? Was that similar, different, more difficult, easier?
It's expansive.
Expansive. It's interesting for me when I move from focusing on one person to a more global feeling. It does feel bigger. Like, oh, there's enough room to offer this to all. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts on the practice overall?
I just feel like it aligns us with our true path, you know?
Aligns us with our true path.
Right.
Yeah.
And offering, sending out good energy. It kind of heals everybody, the other people, you know?
Including ourselves.
Right. It also like protects us from bad energies.
And what I try to remember is, again, that this is the practice, right? Meditation is practice for post-meditation, which is the rest of our lives. And what we're doing is making these feelings, these intentions more accessible to us by focusing on them intentionally, and then trying to bring them up again in day-to-day circumstances eventually becomes just a little bit easier every time we do this. At least it does for me. Or maybe not every time, you know, there's definitely steps back and steps forward, but overall the trajectory is positive. And I personally recognize, oh, the anger actually doesn't help me or anyone, right? It's kind of an unnecessary thing that we throw into the mix. Any last thoughts? We're just about at time. So before we close out, let's bring our palms together. May any merit gained from this practice be shared with all beings. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings be happy, peaceful, and free. Thank you for joining. Meredith has some announcements for us.
Hi, everybody. I'm tonight's host, Meredith. We opened the Dharma Bum Temple 18 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice. Every night we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recovery sangha that meets several times a week for anyone with addiction, and our food redistribution program is every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We have classes and programs every day, and everything we offer here is always free. The full schedule is on our website and also posted in the entryway above the shoe rack. We have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow it and just bring it back whenever you're done with it. If you could please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out, that'd be fabulous. If you want to help close windows, that'd be great. Thank you for being here. We wish you well. We hope to see you again soon. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, man.